Good morning from Jerusalem. Guys, we are on top of Mount of Olives. Du-du-dum. And look how beautiful is that garden. But that garden is one of the most important places in the Christian world. When Saint Helena came to Jerusalem at the 4th century, she built 4 churches. 2 of them are in Jerusalem. It shows you how important those places were. One of them you know by heart. This is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. This is the place that Jesus was crucified, died, buried, and resurrected. The second one is Aluana. You didn't hear about that church. True. Maybe you heard about Pater Noster, which is the Crusader name of their church? No. Still, this is the second place that she built a church in Jerusalem. It shows you that in the 4th century, this place that we are visiting now is important. What's happened here? According to St. Helena and the 4th century, at least the beginning of it, from that place, Jesus ascended into heaven. From that place, he taught all the disciples all the secrets of Christianity. Aha! Now it sounds more interesting, isn't it? Sadly, only few places of small remains remain from the 4th century church, because that church been destroyed by the Persian at the 7th century and then rebuilt again by the Crusader. That one been destroyed by Saladin, and only in the 19th century they started to build the church again. Then what you see here is mainly the 19th century church. Still, it's not a church. Still, it's a story. And EJ, Betty, this is for you as well. And just like you asked me, I'm blessing the Jerusalem cross here at the church for you, and I will send it to you as you already know. And if you want me to do that, enter to my Buy Me a Coffee site or link. You will find the link at the description of that video, and then you will understand how to do the same thing. Sadly I have no tourist, and you are my family now. You are my tourist. Then in that case, let me show you the remains from the 4th century church. And what are those plates? What are those messages in so many languages? Wait a minute, please. You can see the mosaic floor from 4th century. Now, why it's so empty? COVID-19, remember? It's still here. It still exists. Although the rumors say that in the next month, tourists will enter to Jerusalem, to the Holy Land, to Israel, but there will be a lot of problems with it. Then wait with your tickets. The church that you see here was built by the at the 19th century by the Susian. You will see her tomb, again, her tomb. I'm talking about women power. But at the shape of the on the 4th century church. They were looking for the most important place that were mentioned by so many pilgrims who came to here in the 4th century. The cave. The cave that Jesus taught the disciples everything about Christianity, about his way. The place that they actually asked him, what's when are you going to come back again? And he told them, before, don't ask me that, and before it will happen, so many bad things will happen, earthquake, wars, people will deny you, and so on and so on and so on. Then we believe, at least in the 4th century, people believed that this is the place that Jesus actually been in. Jerusalem, the Mount of Olives, most of his time. Can you understand the energy? Can you understand it? And when they started to build it, 2 things happened. First of all, the money ran off. There's no money anymore. Then they kept it like that. And when they built the altar, they actually discovered the cave, and suddenly they destroyed a little bit. But we're going to enter to that cave soon. Let's follow the Jerusalem cross. If you don't know what is the Jerusalem cross, the main cross is the center of the word Jerusalem, and the 4 other crosses can be the 4 Gospels, earth, in the fire, whatever you want. But the most important thing is that Jerusalem is the center. It was so important that the bishops, until the 7th century, were buried here, not at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, here, in that place. Then, it's not only Jesus been here. What about the disciples? They were here too. Today, some of that place belongs to the Carmelite order, and they vow not to speak. At least not to me. And from that window, they are actually sitting and praying, because they know, just like you know now, that this is the most important place in their church. Now what you see here is part of the cave, and you can see the apse facing to the east. And what I want to imagine is that Jesus is standing right there. The disciples are around him, just like we are now. And in front of you can see some of the tombs of the bishops. Sadly, some of those tombs been destroyed. From that area, you could see beautifully the temple and Jerusalem and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. I know that you want to know what are those messages. Can you wait, please? Can you wait? Thank you. In the 12th century, the Crusaders built here a church that dedicated to Pater Noster, a Father who is in heaven, the Lord's Prayer. All right, now you can understand that you will find here the Lord's Prayer in so many languages and dialogue. And we're going to visit the English one, but prepare your prayer. I'm sure that you know it by heart, because I will read it for you. Betty, are you listening to it? In Hebrew and Aramaic. Da-da-dum. Then this is the tomb of the Danish guy at the Crusader time who donated the money for the Crusader Church, for Pater Noster. Before we will enter to the cloister, let us walk around here, and this is especially for you. If you are Catholic, we have no problem with the churches. If you are not Catholic, this is the place to stay. Look at the olive trees. Some of them are very old. This is the place to wander, meditate, to connect with God. I mean, it's so easy. I I love the church. Sadly, it was closed for so many months. I didn't visit that church for more than a year, actually almost 2 years. And now it's partly open, only for a few hours a day. Although they made a major mistake and they planted trees at the viewpoint, let me tell you that behind that beautiful olive trees is the temple, is Jerusalem. You might see a little bit the Dome of the Rock. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it because it is shining. Do you see something shining here? Then this is the Dome of the Rock. This is the side of the temple. And don't worry. I will take you to see the view of Jerusalem later on. But now let's go to the cloister. Look how beautiful is the view from here. Must take a picture. Almost every picture here it's a postcard. We're gonna visit the cloister, which is amazing. I will read it for you in Hebrew and Aramaic. That place belongs to the French. And although in most of the churches you don't need to pay, here there's an entrance fee, but not a lot of money. It's like 10 shekels or something like that. The cloister is similar to the cloister of Pisa, Italy. Italian, Maltese, Allemande, Samaritan. Look how beautiful it is. If you ask me, let them leave the church like that. Partly nature, partly church. It's stronger for me. Portuguese, Sanskrit, India. But we are going to the Hebrew part. In Hebrew, not like in English, we are writing from right to left. Let me leave it here, but let me not forget it. Then it's started from the right and up. You know it by heart. But if not, remember, you were supposed to prepare yourself for that. If not, stop the video for a minute. Then, now you're ready. Avinu asher bashamayim. יתקדש שמך, תבוא מלכותך, יהי רצונך כאשר בשמיים וכן בארץ, לחמנו תמידי, יום ביום תן לנו היום, וסלח לנו את חובותינו, כאשר ואנו סלחנו לבעלי חובותינו, ואל תביאנו לניסיון, כי אם הצילנו מרע, אמן. And that was in Hebrew. Soon you will hear me saying the same prayer, the Lord's Prayer, in English. And here is the Arabic version and the Latin version. And before we will enter to the, before we will read the other one, Aramaic, let's enter to the chapel of that church. And that chapel the nuns of the Carmelite are praying. I cannot enter with my hat on. Remember the Susie? The Bossy, sorry, the Bossy. For me, she is so important, and because it shows us the power of the women in Christianity. And today I will prepare another video of Mary Magdalene in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. For me, Mary Magdalene, she is the one. A little bit even more than the disciples, because she'd been with Jesus from A to Z. She didn't even leave him when he was on the cross. And she is the first one who went to visit him. Let's go in. I cannot talk inside that church. Carmelite nun, when they have their mass and they're praying there. Right there. I always felt what makes me happy is that bread. Great, isn't it? In English and Hebrew as well, Spanish, French. We reached the English version, but he actually knows it, and here it is. And the other side of the English version is the Aramaic. I know Aramaic mainly because it's very close to Hebrew, and when you're starting to be tour guide, it's part of it. Part of the Jewish prayers are in Aramaic, part of the Bible is in Aramaic as well. Again, just like in Hebrew, we are reading it from right to left. Let me put my hat on. אבונה דבשמיא, יתקדש שמך, תתה מלכותך, יהיו צבינך, קמה בשמיא, כנמה בהרעה, אב לן לחמה, ומסתנה ביומה, ושווק לן חובי, כמה, אכן שבקנה לחיבי, ואל תהלן לניסיונה, אלא פצע ייתן מן ביסה, and now the word that you know is Amen. Beautiful place, isn't it? Oh, Thai, Finland, Korean, Spanish. Such an amazing place. At the end of the 4th century, the tradition that Jesus ascended into heaven from here moved to the highest place of Mount of Olives, and what left here is the cave itself, and that is where Jesus told the disciples everything. One of them was, of course, as you know already, the Lord's Prayer. And I want you to see where we are. Then don't go away. Stay here until we'll go outside. Let me tell you that if you want to talk to me, ask me questions, you can do it via YouTube, or at the description you will find my professional Facebook and Instagram. And of course, buy me coffee if you want to support me, which I must tell you, that tour is because of that support. I'm not working, I'm not getting a penny from the government. There are no tourists in Israel yet. Such an amazing place, isn't it? And still it's not the end, but let us look at the two names of the church. Aluana, Mount of Olives, which is the original name of the 4th century by Saint Helena, and Pater Noster, it's the Crusader name. We are at El Shah. I know that it's only in Arabic and Hebrew here. Sadly, it's not in English, but it's at the Mount of Olives, and everyone knows where the church. And it's not a problem. Every bus can take you. Bus 48 took me to here, and every taxi driver knows where we are. But this is part of Palm Sunday for me. Then, can you see that taxi that now arriving? If you will continue that way, let's say 20 minutes walking, we will reach the other side of Mount of Olives, and we will reach Betfage. That's where he climbed on the donkey and entered to Jerusalem. Then this is Palm Sunday procession for us. And this is the highest place of that Mount of Olives. And from the end of 4th century, another lady discovered that the other place that we are now heading will be is the place that he ascended into heaven. And from the end of the 4th century, and the church was built at the beginning of the 5th century, everyone worshipped that story, that event there. Sadly, that church being destroyed by Salah ad-Din at the 12th century, being destroyed, and now it's a mosque. For some of us, it's a little bit problematic to enter to a mosque to pray, but let me tell you that there is a, it's not free, but it costs money, but they are really love to see Christians are praying there. And every day, the day of the Ascension, every year, Catholic, Greek Orthodox, the Syrianic Church, Copts are going there and have right to pray and to have ceremonies. Then don't say no. It's called the Chapel of the Ascension. Then let's visit it for a few minutes. It's open. It will cost you 5 shekels. And here it is. Mount of Olive, Chapel of the Ascension. מה שלומך? That was the gatekeeper. He saw me. And because I'm a tour guide, I can go without paying a penny. Yay! I saved $1, $1.50. Surprisingly, I might be the only one here. And not surprisingly, I am. Now, the Byzantine church was as big as that. You see the columns of the Byzantine church. It was made of three circles, and the first one was a fence, and the idea that the center will be the Ascension part. You can see the remains of the Byzantine. That shows you how big it was, and it was as big as the Church of the Holy Sepulchre and the shape of the Dome of the Rock. As you can see, the Armenian altar is here as well. Coptic altar. And the Syrian altar. And you can see the hooks there. They are building tents there. What you see here is mainly from the Crusader and the Muslim time. This is not less than the Ascension point. When we go backward, and you will see every part of it. Ah, what a beautiful picture to take. I'm so happy. Then blue sky. It's supposed to be a rainy day. And you can see the minaret of the mosque. That this is the last circle of the Crusaders. What left from them here is the marbles, arches and columns, and each capital is different. Then let's make a run tour around it. It was open. The dome wasn't there, and there were no walls. Oh, what's happened here? Look at the beautiful. Don't worry, we will enter soon. Amazing, isn't it? You got a message. The Muslims turned it, oh, this is beautiful. Turn it into a mosque, but they believe in the Jesus Ascension. His name in Christianity, in Islam, is Isa, and he wasn't God or Son of God. He was a prophet, not the last prophet, because the last prophet is Muhammad. Then they closed the dome and they turned it into a mosque, but then they realized that the Christians really wants to pray there too. Then they built another mosque next to it, and this is open for Christians and Muslims. Then let's go in. The weather is amazing. It's 72 degrees Fahrenheit. 22 degrees Celsius. Then what do you want you to imagine that there were no walls here, only arches, and no dome. And at the beginning, there were two stones here, rocks here, that's one, and that's the other one. And according to tradition, and this is, I don't know why, Christians, not others, actually laughing at me. According from the 4th century, it actually marked that those are the rocks that Jesus stood on it, and when he ascended into heaven, he left his footprint. Don't say no. Accept it as it is. There were two. The other one was actually disappeared. We don't know where. Some people believe it from it's in Rome, Vatican. Some people believe that it's at the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Some people believe that disciples took some souvenirs. Then I don't know. They moved it a little bit and they built a mihrab here. You know, every Muslim that prays here is praying through Mecca, and this is the way to Mecca. Another thing that people used to laugh at me when I uploaded the last video of that church is the donation box. In so many churches that I know in Jerusalem, all over the world, there is a donation box. Then, what's wrong with you? Let me put that cross on that energetic stone. Betty, EJ, that's for you, but that is for everyone who believes in Jesus now and watching that video. Amazing, isn't it? I want you to imagine him standing here together with the 12. Actually, yeah, there were 12 already. Judas wasn't there, but there was another one. And he told them, I will come back from the same spot. Again, I will come back from the same spot. I will say it again, I will come back from the same spot. For me, this is the story. Not only the ascension of Jesus into heaven, the second coming of Jesus will be here. And that is a wonderful thing to remember. Then the disciples were here. And then he ascended into heaven. They couldn't understand it. And two angels, or two people who dress with white, for me they are angels, told them, what are you doing here? He's not here anymore, but he will come back from some spot. And according to the Jews, it might be the place that the high priest used to burn a red, sacrifice a red cow, and they used to purify the people who mold, who had illness or something like that. It might be here as well, but I want you to understand that according to Judaism, Jesus, the Jewish Messiah, which is not Jesus, will enter to the city from Mount of Olives. According to the Muslims, Allah, this is the mosque. Oh, usually I cannot even see what's happening there. Now you can see the entrance to the mosque. According to the Jews, the Messiah will come from here. According to the Muslims, Muhammad will build a bridge between Mount of Olives, we are at Mount of Olives, to Jerusalem, and the good disciples will enter to the city from here. Mount of Olives is the border between Jerusalem and the desert, which is at the other side. And there's so many things that happen on top of it. Today, their place is mostly Palestinian, but I don't know if you mentioned, you saw the Israeli flag there as well. Amazing, isn't it? And we are the only one. We are the only one. You and me. Did you subscribe my channel? No, not yet? Then until the end of that bougainvillea bush and olive tree, I want you to do that. And if you will push if you ring the bell, there's a bell there, you will get the latest videos of mine. Remember, we came from Helena. I'm so happy that I did it. I woke up today at 5 a.m. to reach that place because I wanted all the churches are open until 12 a.m. And I wanted to visit them. You have to see me. I'm smiling like a child now. I'm smiling like I'm actually watching Jesus on the donkey entering Jerusalem. And before we will say goodbye, can you wait with me? I want you to see Jerusalem from Mount of Olives for the first time. Can you wait, please? Good. That area was a Jewish cemetery, and you will see it soon. The Jews believe that then when the Messiah will come, there will be the first one who actually will resurrect. I'm so happy. Now the only last church that I hope that it will be open will be Dominus Flavit, the Lord wept. But that will be in a different video that I will take, or not, I don't know. I will, sadly my watch is in my telephone and I don't know what's the time now. And as you can understand, there's not a lot of people to ask. We are at Ar HaMeshicha Street. That's where is Pater Noster Church and Ascension Church located. Benedict Nunnery is here. Those nuns, just like the Carmelite nun that we visit before, never visit Jerusalem. Now let me tell you something. The Carmelite can see Jerusalem from the place that we saw Jerusalem, not a lot. The nuns, they have the best view of Jerusalem. I visit them from time to time. You can see the entrance to their nunnery. They have an amazing garden. Which is worth visiting. But even Mount of Olives, you need more than one day to visit it. There are so many things to see here. That ugly building in front of you is Seven Arches Hotel. The only good thing that I can say about it is that they have the best view of Jerusalem. Are you ready? Are you ready to see the most beautiful view of Jerusalem? Then 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Let me run a little bit. 4, 3, 2. Let me make it more dramatic. That's the garden that we visit of Pater Noster, Helena. Do-do-dum. 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 Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Amazing! I will explain you about the view when we'll sit in Pater Noster Church, mainly because the view there is more dramatic than that. Can you understand it? More dramatic than that, but a little bit of it. City of David is right there. This is the old city. That is the site of the Jewish temple. Today it's a mosque. It's Al-Aqsa Mosque. See, the mosque is there, and this is the Dome of the Rock is the place of the Jewish temple. Behind it, you can see another dome. Great dome. This is Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and this is the eastern wall of the temple, built originally by King Herod, and you can see the golden dome, a golden gate there. So many things to talk about it, but I want to go into Dominus Flavi Church before they will close it there, and then we will continue in my next video. Bye bye to everyone, and EJ, I'm in love with your wife, and Betty, I love you. It's so amazing to talk with my describers, and you're part of my family now. Thank you very much. See you in my next video.